Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, this space is all about finding joy in the journey of both teaching and learning. Happy to have you aboard. If you could hit that subscribe button up above so that you can be part of this channel, that would be great. Today's video is about story cubes. Now, I did a video on this before. I'll link below the video so you can find that video. This one is going to be about kind of a different way to use it in your classes, a little bit of a review of content. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Thanks for sticking around, guys. So as I said in the intro, story cubes is something I've used in my class before. I've used them on a test. I've used for little quick challenges, and I thought of a new way to use these. So I wanted to kind of revisit the topic, and I think you guys would really like how to add this one. So story cubes, if you've never used them before, you can get them on Amazon. I'll link them below too if you could, and click one of the affiliate links. That always helps out the channel. All right, so story cubes, if you've never used them before, they have just these different cubes, these 9 cubes with different pictures on all sides of them. The box here, I don't know if the math checks out, but it says that's over 10 million combinations. I don't know, but we can use these in all sorts of different ways. How I used it is I had each group get a box of story cubes, and they rolled the story cubes, and then I gave them a very short period of times, I think it was like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, to see how many connections they could make to the content that we'd studied. So we were near the end of the unit, so they have a lot of knowledge on the Dark Ages and the medieval time period, and these pictures do not match up with that, so they really have to think outside the box and how to apply these pictures to our content. And they're quickly jotting down these ideas, and then when the time's up, their team gets to pick one to share out, and I sort of score that one between like 1 and 5 points. And it's not a winner takes all. If everyone comes up with a really good one, they could all earn 5 points. And then we just play another round, and we see over time who can score the most points. Now, what I really liked about this was it also involved listening, because the way I structured the task is that I had another student write on the board all the topics that we'd already covered, so covered in the review. So when a kid said something about Charlemagne, Charlemagne's taken, and now if anybody else uses Charlemagne as their choice, it's kind of an instant loss. They can't earn points for that. So the kids had to be actively listening what other groups were saying, so that when it came to their turn to share out an idea, it had to be a new one, or else they were going to score no points. What I really loved about it, like super duper loved, is the amount of content that gets shared, and how the students really loved working together. And we had some of those game mechanics of the time element, so they were limited to 3-4 minutes to review. We had a little bit of the chance element with the dice. It was really interesting to hear how other people use their dice. Some people had the same picture but came up with wildly different ideas, and that was just kind of interesting for everyone to listen to. And lastly, one of the other things I really liked about this activity was that students, I mean, as always, they work together. Now, if you were to try doing this activity in your class, one thing I would suggest is that I didn't quite figure out until the second class that I did it, is when I'm asking for students to share out their ideas, you should always start with the team that had the lowest amount of points, because if you're going to allow topics to sort of get taken away so that people have less answers they can give, I want to give that lower group the best chance to pick one of the ones they liked and they used. But other than that, like, it really went well. The students loved it. It was a fun drop-in activity that you could do towards the end of any of your units that I think would add a little bit of engagement, definitely bring some joy to your lesson and your unit. Also, if you like story cubes, there are other ones you can pick up. I had these two, and just for fun, at each period I had one group use these action cubes just to produce a little different variable. I told the kids this was going to be a challenge, it was going to be a little different, and based on some volunteers, I always got one group that was willing to take that challenge on, so that was kind of fun. That's all I have for you, but I really did love these story cubes, so You know, like I said, interact with that content down below. There's going to be links to these story cubes if you want to pick them up. There's also going to be links to the story cube video I did before. As always, I really appreciate having you guys here. It's always a pleasure. Leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. You're a great community. Take care.